Welcome to part 3 of section 1. Special speed limits. Near railroad tracks, the speed limit is 15 miles per hour when you come within 100 feet of a railroad crossing, and you cannot see the tracks for 400 feet in both directions. You may go faster than 15 miles per hour if the crossing is controlled by gates, a warning signal, or a flagman. Around children, always drive more carefully near schools, playgrounds, and parks because children may suddenly dart into the street. Near a school, the speed limit is 25 miles an hour while children are outside or crossing the street.
No matter what the speed limit sign states, you should never drive faster than 25 miles per hour when the school ground has no fence and children are outside. Sometimes lower speed limit signs are placed near schools, so look for them. Watch for bicycles and pedestrians near schools. Look for school safety patrols or school crossing guards and obey their directions. Look for stopped school buses. Be prepared for children crossing the street. Some school buses flash yellow lights when the bus is stopped and preparing to let children leave the bus. This is a warning for you to prepare to stop. Flashing red lights mean you must stop immediately before passing the bus from either direction until the children are safely across the street and the lights have stopped flashing. The driver of a vehicle upon a divided highway or multiple lane highway need not stop upon meeting or passing a school bus that is upon the other roadway.
Signs warn you that you are approaching railroad tracks. Look and listen for trains in both directions. Be ready to stop if necessary. You should expect a train on a track at any time, day or night. Never stop on a railroad track. Usually by the time a train sees you, it will be too late for it to stop. When traffic is heavy, wait off the tracks until you are sure you can drive over them without stopping. Watch for vehicles that must stop before crossing the tracks, such as buses, school buses, and large trucks transporting hazardous loads. Now, flashing red lights at a railroad crossing means stop. Stop at least 15 feet from the tracks when a person or signal warns that a train is coming. You see a train coming. You hear the horn or bell of a train close by. Never start across if there isn't room for your vehicle on the other side of the tracks. Don't go ahead until you can see clearly in both directions because there may be a second train coming from either direction. Do not go around or under any closed railroad gate. Cross only when it's safe. Now let's talk about trolley crossings. The same rules apply to trolley crossings as to train crossings. Do not proceed across the tracks until you can see clearly in both directions and are sure that no other trolley or train is coming. Do not go around or under any closed gate. Also note trolleys are very quiet and move more quickly than freight trains. Approaching a toll booth. Now if there's a toll booth ahead, a driver will be warned by posted signs. He or she should slow down and be ready to stop. Usually special lanes are designated for special vehicles such as trucks, those with exact change, and quick pay card scanning systems. Temporary maximum speed limit. All roads are not straight and flat. There are hills, curves, and other changes in the roadway. Drivers need to adjust their speed for these changes. Temporary speed limits interrupt normal driving speed for a limited time. They provide guidelines for adjusting speed. For example, a warning sign is usually posted before a sharp curve on two-lane highways and exit ramps. If the curve is very sharp, a square yellow advisory speed sign may be posted beneath the warning sign to advise you of the maximum safe speed for that curve. In addition, chevron-shaped markings may be used to emphasize the risk. Like all speed limits, temporary limits are based on ideal road conditions. Hazardous loads. Diamond-shaped signs mean that the load on the truck is dangerous and tell what the danger is. Some loads have code numbers. CHP or fire department officers know what to do if the load is accidentally spilled. Vehicles that display these signs must stop crossing railroad tracks. Identifying an intersection. When you come to an intersection, scan for hazards, traffic controls, and prohibitive signs. These will help you determine what type of intersection it might be. For instance, controlled intersections are intersections that give the driver some type of indication as to what to do and when to do it. It may be in the form of a sign, a signal, or a person such as a traffic officer providing instruction as to when to go, stop, or turn. An uncontrolled intersection, however, has no indicators of any kind to control the flow of traffic. Scan for potential hazards because these types of intersections can be deadly. When does a driver stop? When does he go? Which vehicle can go first? These issues concern the definition of right-of-way, and it is a most important bit of knowledge to have if you want to drive safely. Marked versus unmarked intersections. Painted line markings determine whether it is a marked or an unmarked intersection. If there are painted lines, this means certain vehicles have the right-of-way. If there are no painted lines, this is an unmarked intersection and the right-of-way is given to the first vehicle to arrive at the intersection or the vehicle to your right. Always proceed with caution regardless of right-of-way at an unmarked intersection. Entering the intersection with another vehicle. This is a prima facie rule. It applies unless there is a sign or other control stating otherwise. If a driver has the right-of-way to enter an intersection into which another vehicle has also entered, yield. It really makes no difference who has the true right-of-way if, when exercising your right-of-way, an accident results. The secret is to reach your destination safely. Being right is small consolation when you have died in an accident.
Pedestrians and intersections. Another prima facie or default rule, a driver should always yield to a pedestrian even if that pedestrian has no business being in the intersection. When a driver stops at an intersection, he or she should come to a complete stop before the white limit line so that pedestrians can safely walk in front of your vehicle. Changing lanes near intersections. Intersections are extremely dangerous areas to change lanes or pass other vehicles. It is dangerous to pass another vehicle where someone is likely to enter or cross the road. Such places include crossroads, railroad crossing, and shopping center entrances. While you're passing, your view of people, cars, motorcycles, a bicycle, or a train can be blocked by the car you are passing. Also, a driver turning onto the road into the left lane won't expect to find you in his lane. For safety reasons, avoid changing lanes or passing in an intersection.
Parking lot or driveway intersections. Drivers entering a street from a parking lot or driveway must yield to all traffic on the street. It would be nice if other drivers let these drivers in, but if no one does, they should not get themselves or someone else killed expressing their frustration. Controlled and uncontrolled intersections. An uncontrolled intersection, however, has no indicators of any kind to control the flow of traffic, and all driving decisions are made by the right-of-way rules.
Intersections without stop or yield signs. Slow down and be ready to stop. Yield to traffic and pedestrians already in the intersection or just entering the intersection. Also, yield to the vehicle or bicycle which arrives first, or to the vehicle or bicycle on your right if it reaches the intersection at the same time as you. T intersections without stop or yield signs. Yield to traffic and pedestrians on the through road. They have the right of way. Unprotected left turn. Give the right of way to all vehicles approaching that are close enough to be dangerous. Also, look for motorcyclists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. When you turn right, be sure to check for pedestrians crossing the street and bicyclists coming up behind you on the right. On divided highways or highways with several lanes, watch for vehicles coming in any lane you cross. Turn either left or right only when it is safe.
Four-way stops. The driver first arriving at an intersection has the right of way to first leave. Two vehicles at the same time. When two vehicles reach an intersection at the same time, the vehicle on the right always has the right of way. Just remember this. Right equals right of way.
Emergency vehicles and intersections. If an emergency vehicle has a steady burning red light displayed to the front and is sounding its sirens and approaches while a driver is in an intersection, they should get out of the intersection as safely as possible, pull over to the right, and wait until the emergency vehicle is passed.
Freeway intersections, on-ramps and off-ramps. On-ramps are also called acceleration lanes because their purpose is to provide time for entering vehicles to accelerate and enter traffic at the same speed as a freeway traffic. By the time drivers are ready to enter freeway traffic, they are expected to be at freeway speed. If the acceleration lane merges with the slow lane of the freeway, the car entering the freeway must give way to the car already in the slow lane. Blind intersections and alleys. Blind intersections are intersections where you cannot see for 100 feet in either direction during the last 100 feet before crossing. Trees, bushes, buildings, or parked cars at intersections can block your view of cars coming from the side, but you need to approach a blind intersection slowly enough, about 15 miles an hour, to be able to stop if a vehicle pulls out suddenly. However, You may drive as fast as the posted speed limit if yield or stop signs on the side of the streets give you the right of way. The speed limit in any alley is 15 miles per hour.
Blind spots. Blind spots are the areas of the road that cannot be seen while looking forward or through either the rear view or side mirrors. Do not stay in another driver's blind spot. The other driver may not see your vehicle and could change lanes and hit you. Also check your blind spots. Before changing lanes, look into your rearview mirror for nearby vehicles and also over your shoulder to check for blind spots. Blind spots can hide a motorcyclist, a vehicle, or a bicyclist. Blind spots can be very dangerous and should be avoided whenever possible. This is the end of Part 3.